Dennis from Owensboro, Kentucky hit us up and he said, I like how you tied college football into March Madness. Do you have any way to tie it into the Masters? Can we connect the Masters and college football? Yes. Yes, I'm glad you reminded me of this, Dennis. A few weeks ago, we were talking about the NCAA tournament, March Madness, lessons college football could take from it, both good and bad. I think college football could learn far more from the Masters and from the way just Augusta National runs itself than it ever could from college basketball. And congratulations to Rory McIlroy, back-to-back green jack-eye, which is the plural of jacket. So congratulations to him. Yeah, I'd say college football has a lot to learn from the Masters. Dennis, this is not a golf show per se, but we can loosely incorporate it as the situation allows. And today we're fresh off the Masters wrapping up. You know, people love that tournament for a variety of reasons. I didn't grow up a massive golf fan, but I'm glued to it every year. We had it on. We rarely turn the TV on, but we had the TV on in the office today, and we're watching the final round. People love the Masters for a variety of reasons, but I think at the core of it all, the reason people love it is because their most valuable asset is not money. Their most valued asset is their tradition, and they never deviate from that. And the beginning, middle, and end of every decision that they make around that tournament is centered around tradition. Money is very secondary. They got a lot of it. They got no shortage of it. But money is very, very secondary. It's never really sort of discussed. When you think of college football right now, some of the first things that come to mind are courtroom battles, NIL portal, but really things that should be outside the sphere but are inside the sphere, and there's kind of a mess, and the water's kind of muddy. And really it just comes down to a long line of people having their hands on the wheel that really didn't need to have their hands on the wheel. That's not the way they do it there. These are not apples to apples in terms of entities. Fully understand that. This is a golf club. This is a tournament versus a massive sport in and of itself, which is a whole bunch of member institutions which are largely gathered in conferences, and then there are some conferences here and other conferences here. I get all that. I'm really asking you to zoom this out to 50,000 feet for me for just a second. The biggest lesson that college football can take from the Masters is understanding that tradition can be valued over anything else. And it's really a beautiful thing when it's done the right way. Now, you can value tradition the wrong way, and it can really, really go down in flames pretty quickly, but they value it the right way at Augusta. They value it over anything else. And that's why when you turn it on, it looks different than anything else you witness, even in golf. It feels different than anything you witness, even in golf, and they never apologize for it, and they're really serious about it. And how does that happen? How does something like that come to be? Well, it happens when the people running it can readily define what makes it great. I assure you, if you're watching Rory McIlroy walk off the 18th there, and he's walking up to sign his scorecard, and he's shaking hands with various people who are wearing those green jackets, just the tournament officials, I guarantee you if I walked up to any of them and I asked, what makes this place great? What makes this tournament great? I don't even get the sentence out of my mouth before they all hit me back with a variety of answers that pretty much sound the same. It's because they know who they are. They know what makes them great. If we were to similarly quiz decision makers in college football about what makes college football great, and they were honest about what they thought made college football great, can you imagine what a disaster some of those answers would be? Quick 5-second timeout. Check and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. It keeps it free. We love you. All right, back to the show. So they just take it more serious than anyone else. The people who run the Masters take it more serious than anyone else. It can be that way in college football. It's not right now, but it can be that way in college football. They treat that tournament almost like a child. College football decision makers treat the sport kind of like a rental car, where they know it doesn't really so much matter how we treat this thing right now. It won't be in our possession in 10 years anyway. It'll be someone else's problem. You've all rented a car before. You know how you drive them. I'm in one right now. That Santa Fe has been great to me. But it's going to be back at B&A later tonight. I don't have to worry about it anymore. But hey, we don't even have to equate sports tournaments to children. We could just use the car metaphor here. There's a lot of difference between the way you treat the rental car and the way you treat the antique that your great-grandfather passed down to the grandfather, that passed down to the father, that's been passed down to you. Those are kind of the differences in the way that tournament is treated and the way those people carry themselves when running that tournament versus the way college football is. I understand there's a lot of difference between, and there are a lot more seats at the table, a lot more voices at the table, I guess, in college football. But that'd be my number one wish, Dennis, with all the changes going on right now. And there's a lot on the very, very near horizon that's going to impact the sport. It'll change the sport, in my opinion, possibly for the better, probably for the better. But we'll see how it turns out. And this is not the night to discuss that. I've discussed that a lot in recent weeks. But my number one wish with all the changes that are coming is however we end up settling this thing, I just hope it settles with us getting power in the hands of people who love it. There are a lot of people who criticize me when I talk about that. More so like in the media side of things. I've made a point in the past that there are a lot of people who cover college football who don't love college football. That's not even the point I'm making. I want people who make decisions for college football to really be looking out for college football, to love college football. Instead of loving what college football can do for them, I would love for them to love college football. You see, Augusta National leaves tens of millions of dollars on the table every single year. Just willingly, they leave money on the table because that's not their most valued asset. Tradition is. Money's down here, tradition up here. I know that sounds very, very infantile to decision makers in college football right now. And that's like a child's view of this sport. That's not the way it works. Well, it's not the way it currently works. It's very much the way it could work. It's just not the way it currently works. I really would love for college football to learn the value of no to the degree that they have. There are a lot of ideas that I could present Augusta National to increase revenue when it comes to the Masters. You don't think that I could get advertising slapped on every single one of those bleacher boards on 18? Of course I could. It won't happen because they won't allow it. Why not? You'd make more money. Well, that's not what we value the most here. Plus, we're doing okay financially. We don't need it. Don't need it at all. In college football, you can expand the playoff. Yeah, you absolutely can. You can tack on another 20 seconds on average in commercial breaks. You can do these things. What are we really valuing there? People are really quick to throw tradition in the wood chipper in college football. Not fans, but decision makers. They're really quick too. So, Dennis, if you want to know the lesson that I wish college football would learn from the Masters, it's that. That word tradition, that's the most important word in your lexicon. It's not that way for all sports. Frankly, Major League Baseball, I think one of the best decisions that they've ever made is instituting that pitch timer clock. That has nothing to do with tradition. That doesn't tie into tradition at all. But it was a great and necessary change they made. College football, a little bit different. I think there are a lot of traditions that we could rightfully and willingly cling to that are just viewed as optional too often. Dennis, that would be my wish.